And moving on to the romance department. George is in studio. He's our boss.
Hello,
and
everyone.
why are you wearing the headphones like that, George?
Because it messes your hair up.
You want earbuds?
I told you you're gonna make
some
me.
earbuds?
No, I'm good. I'll look good.
I'm not
like
trying
that.
to make you like
Nick
a jerk.
came on and turned the camera
Well,
on.
you're looking like a rapper
They're
over
going to
there,
use this at
like-
the Christmas party. You know they are. See, Kid and I had an agreement that I was never on the air because
Right.
I'm really bad at this.
Sure.
No, you're
So,
going to
thanks.
tell the
I
truth.
appreciate
You're
that.
a smooth salesman,
Yeah.
George.
You're the
One on
smoothest.
one.
You're good. Oh,
That's
okay.
it. He is a
Not
good
1 to
salesman, okay?
millions.
You are,
Listen,
yeah.
we're
1
just
to 14
You're
listeners.
just
or whatever.
talking to us.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing:
We
is
wanna hear your
George
spiel.
truly wants me to be happy because he knows happy Kelly, happy office. Is that a fair assessment, George?
True.
Yeah, there's different philosophies
It's
there.
on the business card.
Why do you
when you
want
get
me to?
ornery, you're really, really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why do you want me to find love
I
again?
just I saw how happy you were for that 3-4 month
She was,
span,
right? She was giddy.
and I thought I was having a private conversation, so I didn't think I'd be waking up this morning listening to my name on the air talking about how we're going to pick you up a successful man.
Yeah.
How
I'm
are we
excited to hear this plan because
are we
I have
gonna-
no idea where this is going.
I'm going to let Kelly say it because I
No,
can't
you
remember
have-
a word that I said.
oh, George.
Yes, you do. You have it written down on paper.
Is this
All right, let's
disclosing?
get
Is
this
this
out.
disclosing something really like we shouldn't be talking about? Because what he said, I mean, I don't even know if it's legal.
Oh my God.
I just made the point. I said, look,
You want to bring the PowerPoint in?
I have the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I know you have the PowerPoint. You don't want to
So
bring...
I think I've been married close to 18 years, and I made a list because I used to date a couple people, and that's
Oh, look at this guy.
Kid used to make fun of me all the
You're
time.
a salesman. Salesmen
Right.
date a lot.
So I made a list, top 10 list of what I needed in a partner, right? I
so
said
you were
if-
ready to settle down.
Right. And if that person didn't have more than 7 of those 10, I just started dropping them.
Huh.
Right. And
Okay.
then luckily
Damn, George.
Stephanie had 9 of those 10. And
That's
so
your wife.
What was
she
the one
was a
she didn't
10.
have?
Yeah.
she wasn't Catholic, but she converted.
There you go.
So
Tell
there you
about
go.
that.
Oh, she
How about
converted
that?
for you, so she ended up
So it was
with all
10 out of
10.
10. Anyway,
Hard
long story
test.
short, I said, Kelly, you just need to make your list, and then we need to hone in on who can fit that list.
I have a list, and it's very short. It really is short.
It used to be long.
It's breathing.
Okay, if you say you have, 5 million people here in Dallas, 6 million people, then you have to break that down to available men,
Yeah.
meaning non-married, right? So let's
See, he's
call
looking
that
at this
down.
as a
a
business.
business deal,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
right? So you have to
All right.
hone down to a percentage. I didn't want to get her depressed, but there's probably only 10% of the men in her age group, we'll say 35 to 50, right?
That also
Sure.
want to date someone their age.
That is recently divorced, 2
Yeah.
years removed,
Okay.
right? Because they most likely will have kids, will also have the same things in common that Kelly has,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So you're now narrowing the focus.
Of course, I
right?
see. Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, and look, and at the end of the day, because I was trying to set up with a friend of mine that's a dentist, and she didn't want to do it for different reasons. And I was like, you need somebody who's either, have you dated a doctor? Have you dated an attorney? Have you dated a CEO? Have you dated an entrepreneur? Because
No.
those are the
You haven't.
people.
Because they don't ask me out.
That's not true.
What do you mean that's not
Because
true?
my friend found someone that was.
But he didn't ask me out. You just wanted to set me up with him.
Right. I'm
But
just
those
saying
men are
he's
not
a
asking me
doctor
out.
and he found somebody in his age group that was recently divorced, had kids same age as his, so they have a lot in common.
So statistics
She's very pretty.
what was your plan of action?
I was just going to go down to the courthouse and get people that were divorced in the last 2 years. Put that together.
I told you, you'd never guess that in a million years.
And then find out, narrow those down. Okay, you like this guy? We'll go find what he does and we'll make sure we're there.
So stalking.
He's going
No,
to go to the
no.
courthouse, pull divorce
Drop the
records
mic
from
right
2
here.
years.
See?
Oh my God.
So legally divorce dating.
I'm sorry, Kelly, but that's
Love y'all. I'm glad
that's-
I made you laugh.
that's pretty smart.
George, listen.
That is pretty. That is smart.
Kelly, actually, that's a pretty good idea.
That is smart.
So I'm supposed to go pull
No, not
divorce
you.
record. Oh, he's
No.
going to have a team, a committee.
We're going to hire people
Yeah.
to go do that.
And then we're gonna hire a PI to see if they're dating somebody.
Then they're going to do a background check, find out what they do for a living, where they live, how am I supposed to get in? Now, then when I find this list of eligible men who might or might not be interested in me, what am I supposed to do with that?
Then we go to those functions and those things where the
See,
circles
what I
that
love
they live
is
in.
this is stalking to the nth degree. And what I love is when people ask, how did
not
how did
stalking.
you guys meet?
A friend of mine set me up.
How in the world would I
In the
ever
same
tell a
restaurant
man,
that you were eating
Well,
at.
you know how I found you.
You can't tell
I
him,
went to
Kelly.
the Department of Court Records and looked up divorce men from the past 2 years. And then I found out what charity you're involved in. And then I got a ticket to your black tie
Then I
event,
found out
so I
where
knew
you
you'd be
live.
there.
And then
What
you fell in
grocery
love because
store?
you had so much in common. You got married.
Kelly's gonna end up sounding all.
Okay.
Okay, why is that? Hold on. And
You're
I'm gonna
6'3", 195 pounds.
It is a great way because
Man, it's a
everything's
tough
on there,
room.
like what they do for a living, how much money they make, how much they had to give up in the divorce, that kind of
What's
thing.
different than
The
paying
reason.
$1,000 to go to a dating site that says I like biking and having long walks on the beach?
Those are people
Oh,
who
I have
all
that in
sign
common
up
with you.
for
This is a strategy. This is a sales.
That is a strategy.
Very, and that's what it's like to talk to George. Everything's numbers.
You know what?
And percentages.
When a girl
Basically a
wants
background
to, when a
check,
girl
too.
wants to hook up with a professional athlete, let's just say, they find out where they go and they go hang out there. They go, I mean, it's a strategy. There's a
But it's another
method
thing
to
to
it.
go to the courthouse and pull records
It's
for
the same
men.
thing, man.
We got
divorced 2
people.
years.
We got people in the back
It's the
room. Will
same
do all that
thing.
for you,
That's
Kelly.
really
Okay.
thinking.
I'm on board with this,
You-
George.
And then you've got to do background checks on them to, like he said, you find out what this is. I said, well, then how am I supposed to meet them? You find out where they like to go eat. You find out what charities they're involved in, and you make sure you're there.
Dude, this is what.
I'm like, this is psycho.
That is
It's
great.
a sales strategy. I mean, it's the same thing as done when you're trying to find out where you're going to advertise or where, all kinds of different things. This is a strategy. This is where do they hang out? What type of people they hang out with? What kind of functions
You would
they
be.
go
You're
to?
telling me you'd be totally okay with a woman who just happens to pop up everywhere you are,
No,
and then you
you do it
find
once.
out
It's
that
meant to
she
be.
did a strategic background check on you. That wouldn't freak you out as a man.
We're not
Hi there,
supposed.
old guy.
We're not supposed to find out. That's the thing.
I get, yeah.
Everybody's
So
in the
you know
man room
me,
laughing their ass.
and I'm an open book. I would
Where's
tell
the
it.
dump?
I couldn't lie
I
about
just
that.
cursed.
No one heard that. You stopped yourself. It's
I
fine.
didn't
Just
hear you
breeze
cuss.
over it. See, if you call attention to it and then you say dump after,
I didn't
it's
even
a
hear it,
problem.
George. You stopped.
Well, I mean, Kelly, and you're different. If the average woman did this, yeah, it would be super psycho. But if it's a radio
me.
bit,
Come on, Al. You've done this
and
before.
you're famous, so
I
it's
haven't,
kind
but
of
it's an
charming.
excellent idea.
George, I think this is the greatest idea you've come up with.
Thank you very much. I'll get back to my real job now.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Love you, George.
Kelly,
Thank you for caring, George.
you have to let George do this. That's great.
Do you know what this sounds like? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm willing.
This is like
I'm willing to do anything to get Kelly
Okay.
a man.
Did you
This
hear
is-
what George just
No.
said? His
What?
parting statement.
What?
I guarantee you'll have 5 attorneys or 5 doctors call you today. He says I need to be with a professional man.
Yes.
That's what George believes.
this is like
I agree with that.
This is like hitched to the nth degree.
Business hitch.
Business hitch. I mean, it's the same thing. You're just putting yourself in the situation where those people are going to be around.
Well, that's
and
one thing. You know what? I'd like to marry a veterinarian. So I would go to dog causes or whatever in hopes of finding a veterinarian. It's another thing to go to the courthouse,
Why?
find divorced men, then do background checks on them to find out who's a veterinarian, then find out what charity this person's
Yeah.
involved in. That's crazy.
I love the thought of Kelly just sitting outside the courthouse waiting on the people that just got divorced to come out.
What are you doing
No,
at the
he said
courthouse?
they have to be divorced 2 years. That's why you have to go get the records.
It's public
So
record,
you're not a
Kelly.
rebound.
It's
Look at
public
that.
record.
Kelly, that is the smartest thing I've
It's
ever heard.
I'm telling you,
actually a very smart
It's
strategy.
coming at it from a strategic,
a business
it's
side.
like
yeah.
war.